Afraid to take a GLP-1 medication? If you've been approved for a Zepbound, Mounjaro, Ozempic, or Wegovy, but the medication is still sitting in your refrigerator, unopened, because you're scared, you are not alone. We have many people in our community who were hesitant to take the medication too. And in today's video, I really want to talk to you about the fears that I had when I was prescribed a GL1 medication, a GLP-1 medication. I'm not a doctor, right? But I am someone who has been on this journey for over a year now. And today, I really want to go through 5 of the biggest fears that I had and what I learned that helped me go from being scared and stuck at a weight that I wasn't happy with to being confident and clear. And hopefully that'll help you do the same. Okay, so let's jump in. Hello, bold, brave, and brilliant ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Zepbound Journey with Ange. If you are brand new here, I want to say welcome to my channel. It's nice to have you here. And if you're a member of our community, welcome back. I'm Angela Durant. My friends call me Ange, and you can too. Okay. But before starting on a GLP-1 medication, I struggled with my weight almost all of my life, right? I had 2 bariatric surgeries. I had the lap band in 2009, and I had gastric bypass surgery in 2019. I did Weight Watchers. I, tried pretty much everything that I could, but I could never lose the weight and keep it off, right? I would say the most success that I had was with the lap band, believe it or not. You would think it was the gastric bypass, but the most success that I had was actually with the lap band. And my doctor initially did not even want me to have the lap band. But I lost 157 pounds on that and was able to keep it off for 5 years. And then it started to creep back on again. Excuse me, at my highest weight, I was 332 pounds. And in the last year, on Zepbound, over a year, last year, on this GLP-1 medication weight management journey, I've lost almost 70 pounds. Now, I'm still a big curvy girl. I have a long way to go, but I feel so much better now that I've released, almost 70 pounds. So I want to talk to you about the fear because I understand that fear is real, right? It is not, I don't want to downplay the fact that, you're afraid to take the medication, even though your doctor has prescribed it, okay? So if you are someone who has struggled with your weight and you're considering taking the GLP-1 medication, or you have it in your fridge and you're just afraid to take it, you are in the right place. And if you like this channel, you like the content that we share here, you feel comfortable here, please like our channel, our episodes, and subscribe. That way other people like us can find the channel. So thank you for doing that. So let's go ahead and jump in. I want to talk through the 5 biggest fears that I had when I was prescribed the GLP-1 medication. So the first fear that I want to share with you is just the fear of the unknown about the medication, right? It was like, what went through my mind was, what don't we know, right? There was this black box warning about thyroid cancer, and that was scary. But I didn't have a history of any of that in my family. So I was able to, and I have a really great doctor. So she explained everything to me, and she talked about the benefits of it. So that was really helpful. And she also talked about that these medications have been around for longer than we know, right? I heard a doctor talking about it just the other day, and she said that she had been on a GLP-1 medication for over 10 years, and she highly recommends it, right? I'm not recommending it or not recommending it to you. I like to give you the information and have you choose for yourself. But I do want to share with you just an average girl's journey on the medication from somebody who has struggled with her weight almost all of her life. That's me, right? So hopefully this will help you. So the unknown, fear of the unknown, and that's common, right? There's a quote, I think it's by Joseph Campbell, that says, "The treasure you seek." No, it says something like, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." Right. And in that, it's like, all my life I've been trying to harness this disease of obesity. And someone introduces this drug. And to be honest with you, when my doctor first prescribed it, I didn't have any faith in it. I was like, what is this? Okay, now I just felt like, let me just go along with what she's saying. Right. I don't think any medication can help me, right? If surgery couldn't help me, I don't know that this injection is going to help me. But I took it anyway, right? And initially, I went on the first GLP-1 medication I was on wasn't Zepbound. It was Ozempic. Until the FDA said that's not for you if you're not type 2 diabetic. I was not a type 2 diabetic. I was pre-diabetic, and my doctors were sounding all the alarms that I was heading towards becoming a diabetic. So I didn't really have a lot of faith in the medication. I was like, yeah, I kind of heard the name before. Maybe I saw a commercial or two, but I didn't really have any faith in it. And to be perfectly honest with you, when I first started taking it, I didn't even think it was working. I was like, I feel nothing. When is it going to kick in? Nothing's happening here, right? Until I realized later that it was affecting the food noise in my brain, and it was allowing me to have more control. I did not realize that initially. But when I went back to the doctor a few months after taking it, I was down 19 pounds, right? And I didn't even realize it because it's not an intrusive medication. It's just like you take it and it's like, did I really take it? Is it working? I don't know, right? So the unknown can be scary, but on the other side of that can be the treasure that you seek, right? Or the result that you really want. So, and that's with anything, right? In life, right? The big things that you want sometimes is scary. So that was the first fear that I had. And then also listen to other people talking. Oh, you don't know what that medication is going to do to you 10 years from now. You don't know what you're taking, what you're injecting into your body, blah, 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 right? So that can scare us, right? Hearing people, especially people who care about us and support us. Fear number two was fear of the needle. Now, when she first mentioned it, I was like, She was like, are you okay with taking a needle? I was like, I've never taken medication like that before, but I thought, she's like, oh, it's not bad. But I thought, oh, I'm willing to try it because I did have the lap band. And in order to, I don't know if you're familiar with the lap band, but I don't even know if they still do it anymore. But basically, it's like a balloon around your stomach, a part of your stomach that inflates. And in order to inflate it, they stick a needle into a port and they inject a saline solution that blows up the balloon and tightens it around your stomach. So it restricts the amount of food that you can take. So I was used to getting that needle, but my doctor was giving it to me, right? I never gave myself a needle before. Like I had never done it before, but I was like, okay, well, she says I trust my doctor. I love her. She's fantastic. She was like, if she thinks it's not so bad, let's give it a shot. And I never had a phobia of needles. As a matter of fact, when I go to get blood drawn, I'm like all in. I'm looking at it. I'm telling them, oh, right here. This is the vein. You can get no blood every time, no problem. Right here. So I wasn't like afraid, but I know that that's a big fear. I know it's a big fear that many people have. And then giving yourself an injection, seeing the pictures of somebody injecting it in their belly, in their thigh, in their arms, it caused a little bit of hesitation. But for me, it wasn't overwhelming. But I do know that in our community, it's overwhelming to some people. They're like, oh, I have a fear of needles. And I'm going to tell you, if you watched any of my videos before, you've heard me talk about this. The needle, so this is what the pen looks like. This is Zepbound. It's 15 milligrams. This is the highest level that you can take of Zepbound as of this recording. But you take when you're giving it to yourself, you take the cap off, you turn it to, I don't know if you can see that, but you see that little unlock, you unlock it, and then you put it on like your arm, your thigh, or your belly, and you just press the top down, and then you'll see the chamber go down and release the medication. It is, some people say it's like a bee sting. It's like nothing. It's like nothing. I'm like, did it work? I know it worked when I see a little prick on my skin and I wipe it with alcohol. I'm like, okay, it's in there, right? But it is very, it's hard to see in here, but it is a teeny tiny, maybe you can see it a little bit that way. It is a teeny tiny, very, very thin needle. But that can be scary for people. I know that every time I order my refill of the medication, the pharmacy says, "Are you comfortable giving yourself the injection?" I was like, "Well, who's going to give it to me?" Right? Apparently, they can schedule you to give you once a week. They can give it to you if you're afraid to give it to yourself. I was like, "Oh no, I got this. Bring it on, bring it on." Okay. So, but that is a big fear. And I, want you to rest easy if that's something that you're concerned about. Fear number three is fear of side effects, right? Fear of side effects. Now, if you haven't watched it already, I talk about side effects that people don't really talk about that much on my previous video. So check that out. But there is a fear because everybody's journey is different. You don't know how it's going to affect you. Right. So for me, I might say, oh, I don't hardly have any side effects at all. I'm feeling pretty good. But somebody else, I have friends who had to come off the medication, especially Wegovy. They said it made them so nauseous, they just could not tolerate it. So my doctor said that she believes that Zepbound is better. It's easier because it has the dual agent of a GLP-1 and a GIP. So that helps with some of those side effects. But that is not, common. That happens to nausea. Diarrhea is, a common side effect. And so is constipation. I think I hear about constipation more than any of the other one, that and nausea, more than anything else. And I've had, in over a year, I've had two incidences where at first I was like, I don't have no side effects. I'm good. Like I can tolerate this medication without a problem, until I had two severe bouts of constipation. And I was like, now I know what people are talking about. Bring on the medication, right? So I keep something in my refrigerator to make sure that I have it just in case I need it. I do not take anything daily, but some of the people in our community, they take something daily for that. But there are side effects. And one of the reasons why you take a lower dose and you titrate up slowly is because your doctor wants to make sure that you can tolerate the medication. And if you went, because I was like, take me to 15, right? If you go straight to, like, say you started on the highest dose, you may experience, it may be too overwhelming for your body, and you may get really sick. So they give you a little tiny dose, 2.5, and then it goes up to 5, and then 7.5, and then it goes to 10, and 12.5, and then 15 is the highest dose. But that way you can stay at each level, kind of recover from anything. Like if you start to get, nauseous on something, then you'll stay at that. Most doctors will keep you at that level until you can tolerate it better, and then you can titrate up to the next level. Okay, so sometimes you titrate it up you've gone up too quickly in the dose. I've been somebody who could tolerate the medicine fairly well. But that is a fear, like, oh my gosh, am I going to have this, feel nauseous? The other fear is like, am I going to be able to still enjoy a meal? Can I go out and still enjoy my food? Or am I going to not want to eat at all? Not, be turned off by seeing food? That has not happened to me. Some people can go long periods of time without eating. That hasn't happened to me. I could control it more. And one of the things that I would like to say is when I'm on the medication, it puts that hungry beast that's like ravenous on a leash. So I can continue with my day. I can have calls, I can do work, And my stomach could be growling, but I'm like, wait, just wait. Let me finish my work and then we'll eat. Right? So you just sit down over there and then we'll have something to eat. Okay. So it gives you more control. But those are some fears, right? People are afraid of the side effects that can come along with that. So that's fear number 3. Fear number 4 is more about, well, fear number 4 is the fear of being judged by other people. That's fear number 4, the fear of being judged by other people. And I wouldn't be honest if I said that I didn't care, right? I don't care what people say. I don't care what they say. I don't. Because weight is something very personal, right? It's something that everybody can see. If you're gaining more, if you're losing, they can see it. A lot of people judge, right? If they see you eating something at a restaurant, some people might have something to say. Maybe strangers might not say anything, but my family, right? Has something to say, like you're pleasingly plump, but you don't need to gain any more weight. Like put that down, right? And then they feed you on the other side of that, they're feeding you, right? But fear of being judged, like for me, I just dove in, right? I didn't stick my toe in. I just dove in and created a channel so that I could document my journey on this GLP-1 medication. But was I concerned about people who know me finding my videos? Yeah. I was like, they're going to know all my business, right? And my best girlfriend was like, oh my gosh, I watched your video. You share all your business, right? But I needed to have no barriers. For me, I needed to remove those barriers and really put myself first and focus on my health versus focusing on what other people have to say. Now, throughout my journey, I've had people say, well, you still got to, eat right and exercise, and you don't need to be on that medication, and you don't need this and you don't need that. But they don't know. I've not had one person who suffers from the disease, because it is a disease of obesity. I've not had one person say, all you got to do is just work out and eat less. Not one, because they understand that it's a disease and it's not that easy for us, right? It's not that easy for us. And that's one of the reasons why I created a safe space. This is a kind, caring community of really compassionate people who get it, right? Who understand. But I did have a fear of, people from the outside judging me, people having things to say that I did not ask you. I did not ask you for your feedback, right? I did not ask you for those, but I was concerned about that. And especially people who, don't know my whole, like I haven't opened up to them my whole life. Now on YouTube, they have a peek into who I am as a person and the personal struggles that I have, right? And so as somebody who is a Gen Xer, we often are very conservative and we don't necessarily like to put our business out there on Front Street. But this is something that I will say has really helped me, as being open and honest and vulnerable here in this space has really allowed for me to get the support that I needed along this journey. So I will say to you, surround yourself by a supportive, you need a supportive community to help you. And even though it was a concern in my mind, I was able to still push through worrying about being judged. And at the end of the day, most people are not worried about you. They're focused on themselves, not on us, right? But it's the people who have carried a lot of weight. We're used to people looking at us or people ignoring us, and oftentimes people judging us. So that was a real fear for me. And then the 5th fear that I had after doing all the things, the 5th fear that I had was, will it work for me? Like even when she gave me the medication, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, but maybe this worked for some of her other patients, but I'm a severe case. I don't know that this will work for me. I'm somebody who's had surgery. Like, how does it compare to surgery? And I didn't know that it would be as effective for me. I hoped it would be, but I didn't have a lot of faith in an injection, right? I didn't, comparing it to everything else that I've tried, I didn't believe that it was as powerful as it is, right? I remember back in the day, Oprah Winfrey said, if I, if they had it in a pill, I would have taken it, right? Like, she was like, I tried all the things. If I could have taken an easier way out, I would have done it, right? This was back when she lost a lot of weight and was carrying around fat in a wagon, right? And she was super skinny in her little skinny jeans. And she was like, if there was an easier way, I would have done it. If there was a pill, I would have taken it. And there is a pill coming, right? There is an injection that we can take now that is a game changer. It is a game changer, and something that I never thought about. I never thought about a medication that would impact my brain. And I always say that even if they took away, so there are many different things that this medication can do. One is it dumps your food. It helps you digest your food slower, so you feel full longer, right? So that's something that helps with appetite. But fullness never stopped me from eating, right? I could have restriction. I could be full and still my stomach is full, Thanksgiving full, right? And somebody says, do you want a slice of pie? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm like, I'll taste some, and I'm full. So that was never the solution for me, the ultimate solution for me. But the brain, what it can do to your brain, and quieting the food noise, those cravings in your mind, having you think about food while you're still eating, like you're eating breakfast and you're already thinking about what you're going to have for lunch and dinner. Those, when you're with your friends and you're not really enjoying the company, you're more focused on the food, like those things go away. And that is, to me, that's the miracle of the medication. That's the miracle of the medication. So my fear was, will it work for me? Because I tried so many things, and it's embarrassing to go on something and then it doesn't work for you, right? To me, it's hard, right? It's hard. It messes with your psyche, right? And in the beginning, we paid out of pocket, and we didn't know how much we had to pay out of pocket. My pharmacy told me that the Zepbound here in Pennsylvania was $1,250 a month. So we were kind of buckling down to pay $1,250 a month. Thankfully, we only ended up paying $550 a month because we used the savings card. But, although my husband is a loving, supportive husband, $550 a month for a prescription is a serious bill, right? And I was kind of getting the side eye, like, okay, you tried other things. Now you're going to try this injection thing. Like, is it going to work? And I was questioning the same thing. Is it going to work for me? Right? So those are the fears that I have. And you may have similar fears. But I want to tell you that the medication does work. It does work. For most people, it works. Not everybody can tolerate it. But there's so many people in our community. Some people lose faster, some people lose slower. But overwhelmingly, people have said that it has worked for them, it has benefited them. And I can just speak from the heart and tell you that it has worked for me too. And I consider myself a really tough case. So I want you to know that it is perfectly normal to have fear. And I recommend that you surround yourself with support, like your doctors, your nutritionist, your physiologist or trainer, and a supportive community. Maybe it's your family and friends, or maybe you join our community. We'd love to have you here. But having the support I think it helps you create more success on your journey. So I would recommend that. And then at the end of the day, you need to do what works best for you. Everybody's different. No two journeys are the same. I would recommend that you weigh all the risks. What will happen and then think about what will happen if you don't take the medication. For me, my doctor was sounding the alarm, right? She was ringing the bell. Like, every time I see you, your A1C gets high, closer and closer to becoming a diabetic. Your legs are swollen. Like, you keep gaining weight. You're not losing weight, we're concerned. We're concerned about you. You have sleep apnea, all these things that, at first I was like, well, I'm fine. I'm okay. But the numbers were the facts. When she looked at the data was telling a different story. Okay. And a year later, my A1C is not, I'm not pre-diabetic anymore. I don't believe I have sleep apnea anymore. I haven't had a sleep test done, but I'm not on the CPAP machine, and I sleep well throughout the night. It has been a game changer for me. I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm still, going on my journey. I would say I'm like halfway there on my journey, but to release almost 70 pounds has been life-changing for me, right? I always say that if I don't lose another pound, I don't want to gain anymore, but if I don't lose another pound, it will have been worth it for me. Okay. So, I want you to ask yourself, if I don't take this option that could possibly be the solution that is a game changer for you, right? I want you to ask yourself, what happens if I don't, right? Can I arrest the disease myself? Can you do it on your own? For me, I couldn't do it on my own. So in closing, I want to leave you with a word of encouragement, and also share some affirmations that I found helpful for myself. And before we jump into that, if you haven't already, please subscribe, share, ring that bell, that notification bell. Sometimes I go live and you'll get a notification when I go live and when I drop new content. So please do so if you'd like to be a part of our community. I would love to have you here. So here we go. Maybe this is something that you can tell yourself before you take your first shot. But it's also good for those of you who have been on it for a while, and sometimes you need reminders. For me, I find this helpful because I want to keep my energy high, right? I want to keep myself in a positive thinking pattern, a positive zone, right? And so this is specifically though for you if you are afraid, right? So these are the affirmations. I am safe. I am strong. I am ready. My health matters and I deserve to feel my best. Okay. I chose progress over perfection, right? So we don't have to be perfect on this journey. None of us are perfect, and it's okay. Just take it one step at a time. Even if you take baby steps, that's fine. I can do hard things, even when I'm afraid. And I will recommend look over the course of your life. Like, look at your life and look back over the things that God has brought you through already. You can do hard things. You can do hard things, even when you're afraid. The next one is taking care of myself is an act of courage. There will be noise. We got the food noise, but you also have noise from society, right? Maybe from your friends and family. There's all kinds of everybody has their own opinion of things. But I want you to understand and remember that taking care of yourself is an act of courage. You are taking a stand for you and your health, okay? Every step forward is a step towards freedom. Every step forward is a step towards freedom. Imagine releasing 70 pounds. I have friends who've lost over 100 pounds. It's a different life. It's a different life. You don't have pain on your joints. You don't have that inflammation in your body. I think it's going to prolong your life. And I'm not speaking for any drug company or anything like that. I'm just sharing my journey with you, right? As somebody who has really suffered both in silence and aloud with my family around weight. Okay. So every step forward is a step towards freedom. The next one is I am proud of myself for showing up. I am proud of myself for showing up. I love that because just showing up is a big step, right? And if you're like me, you've probably shown up for everybody else, but you don't often show up for yourself. So you be proud of yourself for showing up. The next one is I don't have to be perfect. I just have to begin. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to begin. The next is my future is brighter than my fear. I love that one. I love that. My future is brighter than my fear. I am not alone. I am supported. If you join our community, you'll see that there's support here. People are so nice here. But you're not alone on this journey. You know, sometimes I think when we carry a lot of weight, we feel like we're alone. We feel like we're by ourselves, but you're not. You're not. There's so many people who have suffered in silence, have struggled, who've tried everything that they could possibly imagine. You could possibly imagine, and maybe they lost weight temporarily and then regained it. It has been just so frustrating. So you're not alone. We get it, right? We get it. We understand you. And this is a great place to be surrounded by people who get it, right? So I am not alone. I am supported. And the last one I want to leave you with is this is my time to rise. This is my time to rise. So with that, I want you to go out there. I want you to be bold because it takes boldness to raise your hand and say, I need the help. And if you did raise your hand and your doctor prescribed the medication and you haven't picked up your prescription, or you picked it up and it's sitting in your fridge, because I know some of you, I want you to, if it's right for you, if it's right for you, I want you to be bold enough to say, okay, I'm going to take the first step. Okay. So I want you to be bold. I want you to be brave because it takes courage to advocate for yourself, to block out any noise, to not worry about being judged from the outside world, to believe that this can help you too, right? It takes courage. It takes courage to get back up again. I felt like every single time I tried to lose the weight, whether it be on a special diet, whether it be Weight Watchers, whether it be going to the gym and trying to do all the things, whether it have been on getting the weight loss surgery, which I was so scared. We had prayer before. I was thinking it's a possibility I could not wake up from this, right? I want you to be brave because that's what it takes. Doesn't mean you're not going to be afraid. My mom used to always say, being courageous doesn't mean you're not going to be afraid, right? It's not the absence of fear, right? It's like feeling the fear. Someone said it's like feeling the fear and doing it anyway, right? Doing it anyway. So if you feel like this is right for you, but you're just afraid, and reach out. I'm happy to hold your hand through the process, right? You can put comments in the chat, and the community will rally around you. So don't be afraid. I have somebody who, shout out to my friend Jackie in the community, who I had a chance to meet in person. She came to visit, and she is on Ozempic, and she was afraid. She was afraid. She had it in her fridge, and she was afraid to take it. And she watched one of our episodes, and she was like, okay, all right, if Ange took it, let's see. And remember, everybody's journey is different, and that has to be a decision ultimately that you make for yourself and for your health. But she took it. And now I saw her. She says she still has more weight to lose, but she's like skinny, right? She's tiny, right? And it's working for her. And I see so many people in the community that it's working for them. So many. And so it's not the absence of fear, but it's taking the step. It's acting anyway on your behalf. It's something you're doing for yourself. Okay. So I want you to be bold because that's what it takes. I want you to be brave and courageous. And I want you to be brilliant because you absolutely are. It's amazing to see people as they go through this journey, as they go through this transformation, to see the light come back into their eyes and the glow in their skin. It is just fantastic to see. People smiling and being more outgoing and doing things that maybe they were afraid to do before, not comfortable doing before, looking all cute in the little outfits that they can fit. I hope I catch up with you guys so I can wear my little outfits too, right? But all the things, like really, it's like breathing life back into you. And it is, it's phenomenal. And so I want you to know that it can work for you too, right? Oftentimes we're like, but will it work for me? It can work for you too. Now, I won't say it's for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if your doctor's prescribing it and it's sitting in your refrigerator, and you believe you prayed about it and you know that you believe that it's right for you, be bold, be brave, and step into the light. Step into the light and be brilliant, because you absolutely are. Okay. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have topics you'd like me to discuss, please put them in the chat. I love to see your comments. I read every single comment. So please feel free to drop your comments there. If you're new to the community, say hello. I would love to meet you. And when we go live, at least I'll know who you are. So please feel free to do that. And until we talk again, go out there, be bold, be brave, be brilliant. Bye for now. Love you guys.